Hello, that's me again, Vladimir Kramnik, and I am recording now the second video on anti-cheating, online chess anti-cheating, and I would like to continue and hopefully to finish with this video the general discussion, general explanations of my position of why I have quite a number of strong disagreements with chess.com, which is definitely the major platform now on treating this issue. Again, I would like to repeat now that everything what I say is argumented, logical, doesn't mean necessarily 100% right, but at least I argumented, and all my ideas and statements, which I'm going to do also in this video, I'm going to argument it. That is quite a big difference to the opposite side, which, well, quite often, as you will notice from this video, do not really prove it with concrete factual numbers or logical arguments. So the next question, the next important point is the, well, let's say the efficiency of the anti-cheating system of chess.com. There are a lot of statements of chess.com that they invested millions of dollars already into the anti-cheating system, that this is working very well. Maybe they don't catch all cheaters, but it's actually well, very sophisticated and secretive, obviously, as they say, system, but that it's very efficient. Okay, those are just words. For the moment, there are no factual, real proofs of that. I have certain, first of all, my analysis, my chess experience tells that, well, I have reasons to doubt it. But in any case, if you claim such a, well, it's quite a strong claim that the anti-cheating system, and actually it's a very difficult method to detect cheating, especially when it's about strong players, title players, that it's working well. I mean, for that you need at least a certain factual argument. Because when I believe when I was talking to chess.com, I've also asked them that, and I asked to make this experiment. Well, it didn't get really any response. But the only way any anti-cheating system, if you want to be sure that it's working well, that it's really working well, like you want to be sure yourself, actually, first of all, and I believe if you are really seriously taking it, you must make certain tests, certain independent tests of your system, and which would clearly show how good is it. And there is one very simple test which can and should have been made, well, still possible to make it at any moment, to test the system. Because, well, actually, so the first about the test is like this. So you take a few chess players of different levels, and actually they're spending time recording it definitely on their own, and cheating in different games, just playing games, whatever, and cheating with a certain different methods on each level. They record it. Of course, it's agreed with chess.com. I mean, and then, well, the anti-cheating system must detect when they were cheating, when they were playing fair, etc., etc. Of course, also at the same time, you can take some players who will not be cheating. So, and okay, this is a test. It takes a bit of time and a bit of resources, but it's extremely important test. All this has to be recorded, and you know, videos. Players are playing, they're recording videos when they're using or not using engine, and then it's a very clear, very clear test showing how efficient is the system. If it proves the efficiency of the system, you just like go public with it and say, okay, there is a, let's say 98% of cases it was detected. excellent. If not, you must try to improve your system, and or maybe even to remove it if the results are really bad. Yeah, but in any case, such a test absolutely, it's an absolute must in my opinion. I'm also working now a bit, starting to work on a certain anti-cheating system, improved anti-cheating system. I mean, adding some parameters, improving existing parameters, at least which I understand are now in place. But obviously for me, without this proof of such a test, I would never claim that it's a good system, because simply you cannot know. So that is first. I mean, and I fail to understand why such a, well, actually logical and simple test was not done, or we are not informed about it. Because it's pretty clear, if it was done and the results are great, we would know it probably. Yeah. So that is one thing, and the most important, that the efficiency, why you cannot judge at all about the efficiency of such a system, because let's say you caught 100 people, let's say 95 of them, whatever, 90, take any number just as an example, actually admitted that they were cheating. So you of course you cannot pretend then that your efficiency, let's say if it's 98 out of 100, that your efficiency is 98%, because you absolutely have no idea how many people you haven't detected, you never detected. So if this 100 people case, if this is 100%, which is quite unlikely, or maybe 90%, or maybe 20% of all cheaters, this number you absolutely cannot predict. You simply, nobody knows. Therefore, this test, well, doesn't actually mean very much in the sense of efficiency of a system. So, and the one which I offer, which I explained earlier, that one would really tell a lot and much more. So again, this, so my clear claim, I don't claim that the system is bad or totally inefficient, no, but simply that there is no proof of efficiency of this system other than just words and $1 million spent. But sometimes we spend, even, in the world, spend $1 billion for almost for nothing. Yes, so it's not yet a proof, doesn't indicate immediately that the system is working well. The fact that it's approved by a certain mathematician, like a good level university mathematician, also doesn't mean much, because it might be mathematically correct. I mean, it's working mathematically, but it's simply not efficient because it's, well, not, the parameters are not great. So that is okay. If it would have been mathematically wrong, that would be really bad. So of course I understand that mathematically wise it probably is correct, but it absolutely doesn't mean it's efficient again. So then the next argument, so to say, is that okay, we are working well because we ban a lot of players. Actually, it pretty much goes together with the previous one. I mean, a lot from what amount? What does it mean, a lot? Let's say a chess player would tell you, actually, I'm very strong. I won 2 tournaments last year. So what tournaments? What level of tournaments? From how many tournaments you won? It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. So what do you mean? We ban a lot of accounts. Well, maybe it's only 50% or 30% of all cheaters. Then it's a really bad number. Maybe it's 90%, then it means it's pretty good number, but that we don't know. So in itself, this fact of banning players doesn't mean, I mean, how many accounts did you ban? By the way, there is a lot of confusion in statements of chess.com concerning the unique accounts, I mean users and accounts. Well, because I guess there is such a system, this we will touch later in the next video, that there is not so much control, especially if it's not about title player, how many accounts one person can have. I mean, officially 2, as I understand, yeah, but the control, I've never heard anything sensible about the real methods of controlling it. So basically, it's a very also important issue. The accounts, how many accounts you ban, or how many people, concrete users you ban. Yeah, because then very easy to what is I guess happening very often is that you ban certain non-title player. He next hour he opens another account, because you don't need much actually, as I understand, to open a chess.com account, and he just continues to play. Then you ban him again in 1 month, then he opens another account. I mean, basically, if it's like this, and as far as I know, there is no real system to control, to be sure that the person who is banned will not open a new account in a matter of 1 hour, then it's like I'm sorry, drinking tea with a fork. Yeah, it's a never-ending story. It's totally inefficient system then, if there is no control of this. But that is actually very important, very, very important matter, which was never really raised. I haven't at least heard any serious question or answer on this, but I believe it's in the perspective of actually whole efficiency of the whole anti-cheating system. It's extremely important to know it, to explain us this. And so about banning, then okay, it's we ban a lot of 1 million, I don't know, 1,000. So what? I mean, if it's 1,000 of 1,005 or 1,000 of 2,000, it's a big difference. Yeah. On a general note, also, when we are talking about, chess.com has a kind of a little bit strange policy that there are some very simple, absolutely questions which do not contain any secret, but you cannot really find information about it. For instance, you have certain information of, let's say, how many title players in general were banned, I think, last 4 or 5 years. First of all, only that. I couldn't find information about the whole period of time. And second, very important, I could not find any information about the general amount of accounts and amount of concrete people holding those accounts among title players. So because having this information and knowing how many players were already banned, you can at least measure a percentage of let's say cheaters who were already confirmed cheaters, banned. Taking into consideration that I think it's altogether in the world there are around 20,000 title players, more or less, very roughly. It seems that percentage is pretty high, because definitely not all of them are playing actively on chess.com, even though maybe more than half, I believe, probably, but still not all. And the number, I think, you can check it, but I think the real number of players who were already banned, only during last 4 or 5 years, we don't know about what happened earlier, but I guess there was some as well. So it's getting close to 600. Which actually then makes it, looks like it's pretty much more than 1% of people who were already banned. Like this, we can more or less, if we would know the number of total amount of title players on active title players, not accounts again, because players, because you ban a player, not actually, that's the most important, not that you ban an account but a player. So then we could more or less judge about general tendency of how many people throughout those years are in general cheating, so to have an approximate number. But this I could not get. The only thing that in this interview in Levit of Chess, Eric said, answering actually this question which Levitov asked, and he answered thousands okay, I mean, good answer. I understand that it's thousands, but how many thousands he couldn't say. So I mean, yes. So there is a bit of a information, kind of some information is released, some not. Frankly, quite often there is a certain confusion in those statements, but that will be in the next video probably, about concerning banned accounts or banned players or cheating games and cheating players. It's totally different story, but they kind of confuse it sometimes. I will give it a proof of it, factual proof, in the next video. And then the next question is legal question. Well, they pretend, it's one of the arguments, that there can be legal consequences. I'm not a lawyer, but it's okay. It seems to be a little weak to me, because this argument, because, well, first of all, if you're a company operating with money, spending money, okay, you have to get ready to defend in court, so you definitely have a very serious legal department, and they're getting their salaries, so okay, they should work. But okay, that's one on a general note. But practically, I mean, since it's a private company, in a legal point of view, well, you can, as I understand, it's kind of basic legal thing, is that you can always, you don't have to ban or to, let's say, to make it in an aggressive way. If you want to get rid of a certain player, you believe he was cheating, you can always just stop his subscribement and, okay, give him back money if he paid any, and that's it. Yeah, never accept him again. I mean, cannot be any legal consequences for this. Of course, if you start to ban, if you start to open the name and tell that he is cheating, maybe, but there is always this way to do it, so which actually is very safe. Then the second thing is, I don't see any reason to have legal consequences in case, so what should be the system? And now we go to the, actually to the last point of this video, is about the punishment. I mean, if Chess.com caught somebody who cheated and they totally sure about it, the point is that then what is happening now, at least up to now, what was happening is that they offer, I mean, I kind of know it from direct sources, but if it's not true, Chess.com is always welcome to confront what I say and to give with arguments, only please with arguments and truth. They usually don't do it, I mean, practically never so far. So, but if they want to contest it, okay, they can. I'm ready to listen to them, but as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure it is the case, so when they, in this situation, they privately contact the player, let's say if you're talking about a title player, and then they offer a choice of admitting then that a player was, this player was cheating, or let's say if not, he is going to be banned, simply banned, and without any chance to come back. If a player admits, then nobody will know about it. I mean, it's all private, secret for everyone. So for everyone, and he gets a second chance without any punishment. Very important to say. He doesn't have to give money back. He just has to admit it only to Chess.com administration that he is cheating. Nobody else is supposed to know about it. He keeps his money, and which he or she, this player actually, if earned some money, which was stolen. Let's put it very directly, it's a fraud. I mean, if a player cheating online earn money, it is a fraud. And so they don't mind, as I understand. I mean, you can translate it like this, that okay, you can keep your money and you continue to play, getting a new account, a second chance. So what means, I mean, that there is no punishment. Frankly, there is no punishment at all. And I strongly disagree with it. I also recently, I've seen podcast of Nakamura, of Caruana, of Vashilagraph. We had a joint podcast a few days ago on it. We all of the same opinion. It cannot be like this, that they don't have any punishment. They don't give money back. Their names are hidden. Nobody knows that they cheated, and they can easily compete again. So this is totally wrong system. All basically, I mean, chess players who are talking about it are telling the same thing to chess.com. No, this is wrong. I mean, we believe this is completely wrong. And chess.com actually also said that maybe we should change it somehow, but nothing is changed so far. And it doesn't take, especially considering the fact that they have a very high barrier of proof for anyone to claim, that he's cheating, which is like above 99%. Whatever it means is 99%, but it's very clear that any cheater potential cheater, actual cheater, who knows that the barrier is so high that he doesn't need to do much actually to go into the 98%, let's say, probability of cheating, not to cheat in every single game, in absolutely every single tournament. That would be already enough to hide under this extremely high wall of 99 and something percent proof. Then basically, in my personal opinion, which I expressed to chess.com, that this makes the whole system inefficient, because that is far too high, and it's extremely easy knowing it. Actually, everybody understands it and knows it. Very easy to avoid it, to be, let's say, only 97% probability, and then basically by committing to this high percent, you sign a paper that you will not catch probably like 9% out of 10 of cheaters, which then, let's continue this logical chain, makes the whole anti-cheating project actually senseless. So this, I mean, I understand the question is difficult legally, otherwise, but this simply a priori cannot work like this. So let's conclude. There is no punishment. So basically, even a person can cheat, even earning money. Basically, he's not punished at all for that. That is how it is now. The barrier, I mean, the proof rate is above 99%. So you have to cheat in practically every game. I mean, it has to be so obvious and for such a long period of time that I mean, anyone more or less clever cheater can actually avoid it. I mean, such a high barrier, I believe it's totally wrong to have such a high barrier. Because this argument, there is this well-known argument that otherwise there is a chance. This I also strongly disagree. That this argument, there is a chance that there is 1 out of 100 innocent person will be banned. Yes, that's unfortunately it's sad, but there is a chance. But it works like this in our world. We don't have 100% certainty almost in anything. But if you don't ban such players, or at least, let's say, you can. By the way, I would invite you to watch this stream, my conversation with Maxim Vashilagraph. I will probably put the link just on this in the presentation of this video. So there is a very good system which Maxim has offered, is to start checking those players in other way, to make a check-in, actually something similar to what is happening already in poker. But listen to it, please. I believe it's a very good idea. But in any case, if you don't do anything about those players, so let's say somebody has 98% cheating probability of cheating, and you just let him play before he gets to 99, but he will maybe never get to 99. Or in 1 year, and during this year, he will cheat a lot of people already. He will earn a lot of money and put it in his pocket. Sorry, this simply cannot work. This is much worse than one innocent, let's say, person banned out of 100. Which is also not good, but I mean, on the scale of those two things, it's very clear to me that this is a little bit of a fake I'm sorry to use this trend word, but it's a fake humanity. Like because okay, you care about a person, I mean, who is potentially can be cheater, very likely, maybe not, but you for some reason you forget about tens, if not hundreds of people whom this person, if he is a cheater, which is likely because he's 98%, he will steal money from. I'm not even talking about psychologically, damage, psychological damage he will make, and so on. Okay, the much more. I mean, and the probability that actually it is true and he or she cheats is much higher than other one. So it's not such an easy ethical question. So it's very easy to put it, just like you are a humanist, but that you care about not banning innocent person. But why then you don't care about tens, hundreds of players who will be cheated in case you will wrongly let this person play? So very dubious this argument, in my opinion. So altogether, those are the main things which I'm disagreeing with. And by the way, not only me, quite some other top players. The problem is not only about disagreement. The problem is that most of those arguments, if not all, they just not standing a logical analysis, which I try to make now. So I would like to hear Chess.com opinion. I'm already waiting for it for half a year, and I still cannot get. I would like to give their arguments on my arguments. Because I guess you see that my arguments are logical. They're discussable. Not that the ultimate truth, but at least they're very serious. Also, I'm not the only one from top players who are expressing similar views, and so far everything what Chess.com is doing is keep going with those arguments, which are extremely dubious in my opinion, and I explain why, and just ignoring other top players who actually clearly disagree with this or that point, or offer some solutions, but there is nothing. Chess.com is just like living in a separate world, like we are not part of an important part. We are talking about top players. Really, it's let's be frank. It's an important part of the whole business of chess.com and of the profit and of the development. So, but in this particular sense, once it gets to a matter which they like to avoid discussing, for some reason everybody can conclude what is the reason, then our opinion is not considered, really, at least not answered, and that I find totally wrong. And that is a part of my fight, and I strongly believe that if we are talking about world of chess, actually every opinion, if it's sensible and logical and argumented, has to be listened to, but especially top players' opinion, because of experience and so on, because we are in the world of chess. And at least out of politeness and respect, it has to be considered and answered factually, not just general words or throwing some ideas or statements which are quite easily refutable. No, serious, respectable conversation, argumentation, and that is, I really expect that Chess.com will change their policy and start to answer growing kind of concerns of different players, and do not ignore it, because it's a matter, after all, of respect. And if they want to be respected, they need also to respect us players and all their subscribers, users in general. So that's more or less it about these topics, and I'm going to continue recording some things on this anti-cheating measures, and I would like to record 2 or 3 videos concerning how to detect, how to try to detect cheating, what are the methods, how does it work, what are the nuances, because there are a lot of nuances. You know, I receive a lot of commentaries when people say, well, but this is clear, that is clear, this cannot be done, this should be done. No, my friends, you know, it's much more complicated than you think, and I will try to explain in details in my next every point which is relevant. I will try to explain as detailed as I can. And yes, so thank you again. Subscribe to my channel. There will be a lot of interesting videos, informations, and thank you for listening to me. Again, very important point at the end of this video. Please, you're very welcome to comment on it, but I would like to stress that only open lies or disinformation is not tolerated here. It will be deleted when it's very clear, provable, factually wrong. Those comments are deleted. Also rude, senseless comment, I'm sorry, please make sense in what you are writing. I mean, not just yes, hi, yeah, this also. And of course, rude and polite and aggressive comments also are not welcomed. Everything else you can dispute my position, argumented, clever. Yeah, I would definitely listen to it and maybe adjust it if I find your arguments valid and serious. So thank you.